Hi folks, I'm Devog and welcome to the Artificers Guild, the home of all things Artifact. After a bit of a drought, we've been hit with loads of new Artifact content. A brand new Play Artifact website, a video explaining part of the game from none other than Richard Garfield, and the announcement of a big pre-launch tournament that will be streamed for us to all watch. So let's dive in with the new look of the Play Artifact website. Kicking things off, an introduction that doesn't tell us too much new. Although it is very interesting that they call Richard Garfield's name before they even mention this is a Valve game. It reads, The Card Game Reimagined. A collaboration between legendary card designer Richard Garfield and Valve, Artifact is a digital card game that combines deeply strategic, competitive gameplay with a rich setting of Dota 2. Artifact is an immersive and visually stunning trading card game unlike any other, obviously coming November 28th, 2018, as I should hope you all know by now. Next up, we have a nice call to the crazy strategical prowess you can show off in Artifact. Oh, and just before we go into it, let me take this moment to shout out the super cool artwork on each of these panels. Lex and Nox are looking fantastic. Strategy unbounded. Wield your deck across 3 lanes of combat, answering every move of your opponent with one of your own. There are no limits to your hand size, no limits to the amount of units you can control, no limits to the mana you can employ. It is up to you to decide the best way to navigate the constantly shifting tide of battle. The next section is something that we will go into a little bit more later on, in the competitive aspect, but rather from the perspective of you and your friends playing games around a table in person. Artifact promotes this kind of play, but you don't need to be on a table, you don't even need to be on the same continent. Fun with friends. If you've played card games around a kitchen table, you know the enjoyment that can come with house rules. Artifact allows you and your friends complete control in creating a tournament. Simply select your elimination or non-elimination format, and deck constraints, then challenge your friends to a crucible of your own design. And finally, we potentially get the answer as to how you'll be able to grind for free in Artifact. There will be no way of earning packs simply by grinding games, but with a plethora of ways to fight for real prizes, you might well be able to collect for free. Compete globally. Want to test your skill against the world at large? Valve-sponsored gauntlets and tournaments will give the players opportunity not just to play Artifact for the joy of mastery, but to win prizes with their level of play. So we have a fantastic new website, but there is yet more. Moving over to the homepage itself, there is another addition here too, a news section. The first entry seems to be what the website looked like during PAX, which is there if anyone wants to go back and look at the event. However, the far more exciting news feature that has been added is a video from none other than Richard Garfield himself. I won't go through the whole video because you should definitely go and check it out, links in the description as per usual, but generally speaking it covers the topic of hero deaths in Artifact. Now when a hero dies, it is out of action for 1 full round, and it grants your enemy 5 gold. However, Garfield explains some of these scenarios where you might well want a hero to die, because don't forget, deploying your heroes is perhaps the single most important and deciding factor in the game, and having a hero killed might suck for you next turn, but the one after that, you get to redeploy it exactly where you need it. Definitely go check that video out. I want to point something out here though. This is a whole news section that the Garfield video resides in. So does that mean we'll be getting a lot more of these in future? It does seem like a very strange topic to simply cover as a one-off. So if I were a betting man, I would suggest we'll be getting a lot more of these insights from the developers of the game. So keep your eyes peeled, folks. If I were to guess which topics we might expect to see covered, then initiative and combat would certainly be up there, as they can be easily misunderstood. We do have an entire rundown of every single mechanic, system and keyword in the game so far though, so if you are confused about anything to do with Artifact, go check out that video. I'll leave a card for it here. Now before we get into the huge tournament announcement, we got a quick peek into some of the things that the Artifact team have been working on to get the game ready for its beta unveiling. The first was the renaming and new artwork for the Techies Vest. The effect is still the same though. For 8 gold, the equipped hero has +2 armor and an active ability with a 1 turn cooldown. Deal 6 damage to the equipped hero's enemy neighbours and condemn the equipped hero. We don't know why this card was changed this way, but we saw similar things from A Day at the Track, which depicted a courier race being bet on, that became Payday, and of course Crack the Whip, which showed the kobold 4-man keeping his soldiers in order, that is now Coordinated Assault. The reason the latter was changed is kind of obvious. It looked a little too close to some horrible slavery sort of ordeal, so a safe change from Valve. A Day at the Track could have just been them wanting to bring Bounty Hunter to the forefront, showing him getting his payday. However, it could have also been a similar attempt to avoid scandal, and perhaps they were too worried about its ties to gambling. Dota has certainly had its fair share of shenanigans with gambling, so that's a smart move by Valve. Does this mean Techies Vest was changed because of its likeness to a terrorist weapon? Probably not, however I can't help connect the dots. If you have any theories as to why this and the other cards were changed, leave your theories in the comments below. The final change we saw was a strange bug with the defeat screen. Instead of reading defeat, the A was replaced with the word run, so it read defeat run T. I'd love to see a scrapbook of the weird and wonderful bugs they came across. We already had the decks turning into white squares at packs whenever a turn ended, and now we have the devs trying to run away from their losses. While these two changes might seem trivial, and a number of members of the community at large have lashed out against Valve for delaying the beta just to change small things like this, we are not going to see the large majority of the changes going on behind the scenes. In fact, one of the reasons I suggested for the delay was that they would be working on a tournament system for release. And lo and behold, what did Valve just announce? Valve will be hosting an Artifact tournament this weekend, November 10th to November 11th. Now we've seen this before, they've held a number of tournaments for those inside the beta already, so what is so special about this one, you ask? Well, it's going to be streamed live to Steam TV, with coverage from Beyond the Summit's Artifact team. We'll be seeing the top Artifact beta players compete in all their glory. Now this will be a draft tournament with a prize pool of $10,000, which is certainly nothing to shake a stick at. This is some serious money for a game that isn't remotely released to the public yet. It will feature a 7-round Swiss bracket on day 1, and from that a top 8 will be decided to compete in a single elimination bracket for day 2, with a winner being crowned at the end of the day. The action on both days kicks off at 9 AM PST, which is 5 PM GMT for you UK folks, and if you're somehow unable to just add 1 and you're still interested in a game that requires a lot of maths, then it's 6 PM Central European time for you Europeans. So that's pretty awesome in itself. But the last line of that announcement is what I alluded to previously. Why the beta was delayed. What Valve are spending time to develop before the game is released. This entire tournament will be played out using an in-client tournament system. Now many games have some sort of built-in tournament system, however this one will be available to everyone on launch day. We can all start making mini leagues with our friends. Those days you had playing Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh over the kitchen surface with your friends, that were lost when you went your separate ways for university or college or your careers or whatever, they can be revived. Just hop into a Steam chat, or Discord, you won't be judged, gather your friends from the far corners of the globe, and recreate that mini tournament vibe with your friends. This also undoubtedly makes it easier for other people to run semi-professional tournaments of their own. Say, if you're a YouTuber in the game and you want to run a tournament for the community that's erected itself somehow to show how much you love them all. Well, that's certainly a possibility with this system. Needless to say, I am super excited to get our hands on this system, and to watch the top beta players go at it in the stream tournament. If you want to watch the action with some friends, feel free to join our Discord server, links below, where we'll be watching the action together. And that about wraps up all of the crazy news from this week. As always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the content, feel free to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. I'm Indivok of the Artificers Guild, and I will see you next time.